Warning, after watching this movie, this review may contain a lot of sarcasm. Viewer discretion is advised. Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
After watching this movie, I thought to myself, if I could go back in time and tell my younger self something, what would that be? Maybe to avoid that one girl in high school.
But you one crazy ass bitch!
Or to thoroughly enjoy your time that is free of responsibilities. Or maybe to just start YouTube sooner and get in on the ground floor. So you aren't spending hours making a video that only 16 people will watch. It's very fulfilling.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
The Adam Project is the new Ryan Reynolds time travel movie streaming exclusively on Netflix. 3 words that send shivers down my spine. Streaming on Netflix.
Fuck me, right?
Netflix has a habit of producing movies that we all know no one would go to watch if they were in the theaters. Sure, people went to go see Free Guy, which has the same actor and director as this movie. But I do think the Adam Project is much better suited for streaming. And not just because it's basically free, even though yes, that is part of it. But because it's fine to waste an hour and a half on a movie like this when you're sitting at home. But I'm not sure it's worth mortgaging the house just to buy a movie ticket and some stale popcorn.
That makes sense.
The Adam Project is a lot of Ryan Reynolds doing what Ryan Reynolds does, and that's being Ryan Reynolds. Only this time he's teamed up with a child version of Ryan Reynolds. It's literally Reynoldsception. As much as Ryan Reynolds' shtick gets old to me sometimes, I cannot deny his charm. And I think one of the better parts of this movie are his interactions between his older self and his younger self. By the way, the whole time travel rule number 1 about not knowing too much about your own future is completely thrown out the window in this movie.
Why?
Well, sort of. There's a loophole they use to get around it, but this version of time travel definitely seems less bogged down by rules. And as I said, it's all about the interactions between the 2 Adams. And there was actually a surprising amount of teachable and heartfelt moments in this movie. It's like they took all the Full House lessons and just dumped them all in. You have each version of Adam giving advice to the other from their own perspective.
No shit.
Older Adam is reminded of what it means to be a kid and all those wonderful times he had as a young man. And young Adam gets the benefit of hearing about the mistakes that he's making now from his older self. They definitely try to tug at the heartstrings on more than one occasion, and on some of those occasions it works. I do have to talk about the villain of this movie for just a moment, and that's the character of Maya, played by Catherine Keener. Of course from 40-Year-Old Virgin fame. I don't want to sound like a dick, but I'm probably going to. She felt very out of place in this movie. I don't know if it's her dialogue or how she delivers it, but I just could not take her seriously as a threat. It feels like a role that Sigourney Weaver should have been in, but they couldn't afford her.
Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now?
Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo are in this movie as well, as Adam's parents. And Garner is likable enough, I guess, even if she does have some cheesy lines like, "The future is coming sooner than you think." Subtle.
Message.
Mark Ruffalo is fine, I guess, but he's one of those actors who sometimes to me feels like he's acting in a different movie than the movie he's actually in. I know that's not very clear and it's kind of hard to articulate how I feel about Mark Ruffalo without sounding like I'm trying to explain time travel to you. Speaking of, the premise of this movie revolves around the idea that we need to stop time travel from happening, so the evil bitch cannot alter the timeline for her benefit. It's a pretty paint-by-numbers premise.
Put some effort into it!
And that's the biggest problem with this movie, is that a lot of what's going on feels very generic. The futuristic ships and weapons and soldiers, all generic. The villain's motivations, generic. It's almost as if they wanted to tell a feel-good story about a younger version of someone encountering an older version of himself and them kind of teaching each other how not to be a dick. But then they realized we live in the MCU era of movies and people might not be interested in that, so they added more special effects, fight scenes, and explosions.
We give them what they want!
and that's The Adam Project for me. For once, a movie where the comedy wasn't the worst part for me. Wait, is this what it's like to be a regular person? I don't like it.
Had you ever heard of the healing power of laughter?
The Adam Project had some nice moments, but overall I felt nothing and will probably never watch this movie again. So for that reason, I'm going to give it the Careless Sam Gerard.
I don't care!
So have you seen The Adam Project? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Nah.